Okay, so you don't want to answer the question because you know the answer is obvious. Everyone that Biden let in has to go home. Of course. I mean, it's a crazy thing to even ask. You think we should give administrative amnesty to some subset of the illegals that Biden... Here's how we're prioritizing it. ICE is going to continue to focus on raids against high-threat criminal aliens. We're going to use the entire force and power of the federal government to get them all home.
The right to political expression, their right to fundamental safety in their own country. One man dared to step forward 9 years ago.
What percentage of the, let's just pick an even number of, say, 10 million illegal aliens. Let's say that Biden released, I think it's closer to 20 million. Let's say he released 10 million illegal aliens into the country over the last 4 years. What percentage do you think we should let stay here of those 10 million?
I'm not trying to do a game show.
No, but I'm saying, no, but...
If you think that's the best use of...
Well, hold on, but is it your view that if a Democrat president releases 10, 15, 20 million illegals into the country, they all then should get to stay forever and for all of life?
Stephen, I don't have a view about what Democratic presidents do. I'm asking what the Republican president
does. So you don't want to answer the question because you know the answer is obvious.
Let's go to the United States. Tomorrow marks the 100th day in office for Donald Trump. He'll be celebrating with a big rally in Michigan, which is being titled Legendary Start. And I suppose if passing executive orders classifies as legendary, then it is a pretty impressive start. 137 executive orders in the first 100 days of his second presidency. That's more than any president since Franklin D. Roosevelt many years ago, although his approval rating is not quite so impressive. It's the lowest for any newly elected president in about 70 years. An NBC poll has just 45% of Americans approving of Donald Trump. 55% disapprove. Interestingly, 0 don't know. So everybody has an opinion. There are no undecided voters in the United States. No surprise that people don't sit on the fence when it comes to Donald Trump. When they asked voters about specific aspects of Trump's presidency, Trump failed to have a majority supporting him in any area, whether it was economy, immigration, tariffs, or even his actions on DEI. People were not in support. You can see the breakdown there. The number of people overall, 45% who approve versus 55% who disapprove. Of course, it divides up amongst party lines. 88% of Republicans approve compared to just 32% of independents and 7% of Democrats. Liz, I'm not surprised that Trump polarises people, nor am I that surprised that his popularity has gone down. I mean, the Democrats made such a mess of America. Whoever was going to come in and clean up the mess was going to have to take unpopular steps. Doge hasn't been particularly popular, and you can understand why, but it had to be done. If you're going to renovate a house, and I've seen people who've renovated houses, never done it myself, but when you watch people who renovate houses, it always looks worse before it gets better. And I would suggest that's what's happening in the US right now.
Yeah, and a lot of this had to do with his recent big tariff moves that obviously have hurt Americans, have hit them in the hip pocket. And a lot of this pushback currently would be due to that, I think. And there's also
only 39% of people supported his aspect on his policies on tariffs.
Indeed. So that was big part and parcel of it. My thing with opinion polls this early on in the election cycle is, does it really matter? The guy's in the hot seat for 4 years, so love him or hate him, he's just going to do what he thinks best is for the nation. The midterms aren't until November next year, by which point he could be soaring in the polls, who knows? So at this point of the game, it is costing you nothing to make the hard calls, clear the decks while you can, which is why he's gone so hard during his first his first 100 days. I think it's good timing. Opinion polls at this point in the election cycle are just like, who cares? He's in, he's not seeking a second term because he can't by law. So this guy can go hard for his entire 4 years and everyone's just got to suck it up.